For those of you that didn't see my last video, I'll just quickly recap. I am going to be I did create a list of my personal top 100 movies, and then I'm going to be slowly churning out a series in which I reveal to you in chunks my list of personal top 100 movies. Um, I would like to just state for the record that this is not a list of the movies that I objectively feel to be the best movies ever made. That's not what this is. I approach this from a very personal viewpoint, more like the movies that are actually my favorites or that I prefer to watch. As a matter of fact, it was borderline painful for me to notice that I was constantly shooting down movies that are truly objectively better films for the kitschier fare that apparently make up my movie tastes and sensibilities. So you'll see what I mean. I will just kind of mention that even the movies at the very bottom of this list are still in my top 100, so there are no losers here. I just went with my gut and kind of picked the movies that I enjoy watching the most, and then categories sort of developed as the list was coming together. So I just ended up doing it that way. So we'll just kind of go through a category in every video. So let's just dive right in. For the first category that we're going to address today, it is the last 10 movies on the list. These movies are movies that obviously I love and adore. These are movies that I have seen so much, like an exaggerated number of times, to the point that I am now infrequently in the mood to watch them. And you might ask yourself, why on earth would you put a movie on your list of top 100s that you are infrequently in the mood to watch? It's because the reason that they have earned that title is because I have seen them so much. Most of these movies are super formative to my sense of humor and just my sense of my sense of humor. So anyway, starting with number 100 is The Sandlot, 1993 movie about a group of boys playing baseball and learning how to be friends, dealing with a massive fictionalized dog, basically. It's great. Everybody my age at that time had a crush on Benny the Jet Rodriguez, and of course James Earl Jones plays an absolutely lovely character. It's just a super cute movie about childhood, and I did watch it a lot throughout my childhood and into my adolescence, I must say. Anyway, number 99 is Short Circuit. This is the 1986 movie about the little robot, Johnny Five Alive. The original, I don't know, what can I say? It just has a Ali Sheediness to it and a Gutenbergness to it that the sequel just didn't have. I do still enjoy watching the sequel very much, but I have to admit that the original is the one that I kind of reach for more. Number 98 is SLC Punk. This is a 1998 movie about the punk scene in Salt Lake City, Utah in the 1980s. It is just a blast for me to watch. The soundtrack and the looks, it just kind of takes me back to a time. And it's a lot of fun. Then number 97 is Rocky Horror Picture Show, the 1975 absolute romp in which Tim Curry runs around in lingerie. It is just so much fun, and I cannot possibly describe to you how many times I have watched this movie throughout my life. But then again, that's everything on this list. Okay, number 96, Mommy Dearest, the 1981 biopic in which Faye Dunaway is absolutely killing her portrayal of Joan Crawford. But the movie is such drama, such kitsch, the overacting is like, I adore watching this movie. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. Okay, number 95 is Tank Girl from 1995. In this movie, Lori Petty plays the titular character. She is fighting against basically Malcolm McDowell, which I mean, Malcolm McDowell. And the movie is interesting because it's like a combination of like comic book fare and then the real world version of the comic book fare, but it has a rockin' soundtrack, and I loved this movie so much growing up. 1994 is Earth Girls Are Easy from 1988. This is one of the movies that Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum made together while they were still dating. It is just the worst movie ever, but it is so much fun for me to watch. Besides the fact that you've got Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum, you also have a young Jim Carrey, a young Damon Wayans, downtown Julie Brown. It's just hilarious, and Michael McKean too. Oh my gosh! So I watched this movie a lot growing up. It is kind of raunchy actually, but I mean I didn't know that back then because it was like all edited for cable. Anyway, moving on to number 93. 1993's So I Married an Axe Murderer. This was, I believe, Michael Myers' first like feature-length film, and the first time that he really was able to kind of like put on display on a film his accents, and he plays multiple characters, and it was a lot of the same kind of jokes that ended up becoming the main part of Austin Powers, and a lot of the accent and the persona that ended up being Fat Bastard in, I think it was the second or third Austin Powers movie. But anyway, because back then that still didn't exist, this was a revelation and hilarious, and I just made an absolute killing impersonating this movie for years and years and years. Number 92 is Empire Records from 1995. This is a movie that was very much in the same vein as like Dazed and Confused, but in the 90s. It's a group of teenage kids that work in a record store and then kind of rally together to try and save it, you know. And then number 91 is Batman Returns from 1992. I am a massive Batman fan, and to try to pick just one Batman movie was sort of a wrench for me. But at the end of the day, this is probably just the one that I reach for the most. It's the one that came out when I was really at that like prime Batman age, and it's just my Batman movie, I guess. No disrespect to any of the other ones. They all have their merits. Some of them are definitely problematic, but I will just leave off by saying this, especially with reference to Batman. There are several movies on this list that are just one in a larger series. I would have picked, you know, probably most of the movies in many of these series if I had the room on my list, but 100 is a finite number and I did not have the room. So in many cases, I kind of had to distill down a greater series to just one movie that sort of represents the idea in many cases. But that is basically it for this week. Thank you so much for being with me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe out there.